chocolate sexy man, 6 foot, tatted up, buff as fuck, like literally. Fuck him now, right? Like I don't fuck with him at all. I kind of want to just blast his whole shit. Y'all was being fast. Y'all was being fast as hell at 15 years old, but no. Okay, I wasn't fast like that. She's pregnant. I want her to know, like, that's not your man, that's my man. He's been my man, okay? You just got knocked up by him. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, your BFF Isaiah, and I am back with another video. If you are brand new here, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and watching another one of my videos. Obviously, I know why y'all here. Y'all here because y'all wanted to see. You read the title, you said, oh baby, this sounds juicy. So I want to be all up in his business since he's willing to share it, and I want to know what's going on. So I'm finna just give y'all exactly that, okay? But I do want to say, this might be a 2-part story time video, okay? If y'all fuck with this one, there's a second part to this, okay? And we'll get into it at the end why there may be a 2-part video. But like I said, if this one's too good, we'll do the 2 parts. So go ahead and like, comment right now. Okay, so y'all can get the second part to this video, all right? Let's just get right into the story. So first and foremost, I want to give y'all a little bit of synopsis. It's a brief synopsis, but one thing about me is, bitch, I like to ramble. So it probably won't be like a real synopsis. But I just got to paint the scene so y'all can understand what I was dealing with and what was going on here. Now, first and foremost, I did not get to graduate high school with everybody else, okay? Everybody in my class got to graduate. Cute for them. I didn't. Why? Because I was bad as fuck. I wanted to party. I wanted to skip school. I was wild as fuck. So I didn't end up having the credits that I needed to graduate. So my mom ended up telling me, like, bitch, listen, since you don't want to graduate high school, you go in a Job Corps. So for those of you who don't know what Job Corps is a government funded program, and they basically pay for you to go there and get a GED, a high school diploma, and like a certification, like a vocational trade, right? You have like HVAC, you have business administration, you have just a bunch of different shit. So I ended up going to the school, and it's like, there's dorms there, right? You live on campus. And listen, I went to Homestead Job Corps. Now, I don't mind sharing that with y'all. Go ahead and look up Homestead Job Corps, okay? Just so y'all can paint the scene, so y'all can understand the ghetto shit I was dealing with. It was real fucking ghetto, okay? I'm talking about, we had roll call, we had curfew. It was a lot. And they're out of business. They got closed down because of 2 kids murdering a teacher, I think it was. So listen, let me tell you, this shit was ghetto as fuck, okay? So I went to the school, lived on campus. I obviously met people, and one of the boys I ended up meeting, damn, do I want to say it? I kind of want to just use names, like, fuck it, right? But I don't know if this video does good. I'm a little scared. But, okay, so I ended up living on campus, and I met this boy. Let's just say his name is Roger. So me and Roger became good friends, and Roger was telling me, he was like, you know, my brother is about to leave like his public school, and he's actually about to come here as well, yada yada yada. And I'm thinking, okay, Roger was like a little nerd, so I really wasn't thinking like much of it. Like I was like, okay, his brother's coming, like, you know, just regular conversation. But bitch, hold on now, let me tell you, 2 months later, okay, 2 months motherfucking later, all of a sudden I see this chocolate sexy man, 6 foot, tatted up, buff as fuck. Big with a small dog in the backyard with a pool. Champagne, little bubbly. Like, we get it. You want to like literally everything that you ever want in a man, like just coming straight at me, all right? And I'm like, damn, that man is sexy as fuck. Like, he is so cute. And I remember sitting with Roger, and I was like, yo, that boy is mad sexy. And he looked at me and was like, that's my brother. And I was like, you stupid bitch. Yeah, what? Yo, brother, bitch. I was like, ain't no way that's your brother. And he was like, yeah, bitch, that's my brother. Like, he's mad annoying. He's this, he's that, blah, 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 blah. Just like, you know, talking mad shit. Obviously, like what we do when we talk about our siblings. One thing about me, though, let me just say this, is if I want you, I'm going to get you. Like, I don't care what your sexual orientation is. Like, bitch, if I like you, I like you, and you coming home with me, and that's just that on period. I never gave a fuck. And I know y'all probably like, bitch, that's the problem with you gay boys. Y'all always trying to claim I'm straight men, yada, 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 yada. No, listen, if I like you, I'm gonna go for you. And I know majority of the time I always end up winning. So it's really nothing. So I ended up having him in one of my classes. And one thing about it, and I think us gay men we understand this, is when he starts being mean to you, you know you got him right there in the palm of your hands. Like, you know he is ready to do whatever with you, okay? The second he start being mean to you, that means he got a little crush on you. He like you. So this boy started being mean to me. Let's say, what's his name? I really want to use his name because fuck him now, right? Like, I don't fuck with him at all. I kind of want to just blast his whole shit, but we ain't gonna do that. His name is, let's use Devin. We'll use Devin, okay? So me and Devin had the same class with each other, and I ended up being like, damn, like, he was just so sexy. The more I got to stare at him and look at him, I was like, yo, this man is everything that I wanted. Like, obviously, I bagged him, right? We started flirting a lot in class. He ended up taking my phone one day and writing in my phone, like, you want to see my... And I was like, you know I do. And, oh my God, I'm sorry. My dad be watching my videos. I hope my dad is not watching this right now. Like, please, Dad, please do not watch this. But he was like, do you want to see my thing? And I'm like, yeah, you know I do. So that's how it all started, right? He also was my first. Let me say that. Like, I have never had intercourse before or anything like that until I met him. Like, he was my first, okay? So, I was young. Y'all, I was young. I was 18 years old. I know to some of y'all that's actually old because y'all was being fast. Y'all was being fast as hell at 15 years old, but no. Okay, I wasn't fast like that. So he was actually my first at 18. So whatever. At the time, my roommates I had two brothers and they were from Opalaka, Miami. Now, if you know where that is, you know that is the hood of Miami. Okay, that is like real hood nigga shit, like dead ass. And these niggas were some hood niggas, like period, off just hood ass niggas. So me and never had like a safe space to do all of this. We only had time to hook up in between, like time when they would be like playing football, playing basketball. I would sneak him up in my dorm, and we would be able to do whatever. And then, like, you know, we would never talk to each other after he left my room because it was just like weird, right? Because once again, like, I'm in school with a bunch of hood niggas who literally used to call me Bati Boy. Boom, bye, bye, in a Bati Boy. Like, it was crazy. So, yeah. So obviously, me and we did our thing, and it was a vibe, and it was all good, and we was vibing with each other. We was vibing with each other for maybe like 7 months. Okay, so I felt like we had like a relationship. So, boom, let me tell you the tea. So about 7 months into our little situationship that we got going on, a girl ends up coming to our school. She ends up getting registered into the school with us, and yeah, she's pregnant. So obviously, like, I'm not thinking nothing of it. I don't care. I'm like, okay, there's a new girl in school. She pregnant, whatever. But I see that her and Devin are walking and talking and hanging out and doing all this shit with each other. And I'm like, no. This is no. Because mind you, y'all, I will catch them like literally walking from lunch together. Like, they were doing everything together. Like, our campus was very big, so you would have like education on one side, and then you would have your training on the other side of campus. So I would see them like walk through the campus and shit, like just together. I was like, hold the fuck up. Like, this, I know this ain't what's going on here. Like, I know Mike is not your baby daddy. Like, I just know he is not. So one day after, you know, I told you guys, we had a class together. So after the class, and it was last period. So after the class, he ended up coming back to my room and we talked, and I had asked him about it. And I was like, yo, so what's going on with you and her? Like, what's the tea? Like, is that your bitch? Like, what the fuck? And, you know, he literally told me straight up, like, yeah, like, I was seeing her before I came here. I got her pregnant and I told her she should come here. I was jaw dropped to the floor. I was like, when I tell you that stabbed me, it stabbed me in my heart because like I really thought I loved this man. So I was like, wow, like no, he did like, and the way he said it to me too was just so like, yeah, like you know what it was before you started fucking with me. Like you knew I was into women. Like what we do now. And I was like, wow, like we never had a clear conversation about our feelings, right? It was more so just like intercourse and that was it. However, I was emotionally connected to this man because he took something very vulnerable of mine. So my roommates ended up graduating. They ended up leaving the school. I was by myself for a little bit, which made me feel so, oh my God, it felt so good. Like, because I had to walk on eggshells having like three other aggressive ass like roommates. It was just like a lot. So it felt so good to like be alone and have my space to myself. I only was alone for about 2 weeks, y'all, before this little twink came walking into my room. And I remember I was so gagged because this was before James Charles. This was before like men were able to wear makeup. And I will say, like, I respect him so much because, like, look at me now, right? I got a little bit of makeup on now. Like, I respect the fact that, like, he was himself. Even though I can't stand the bitch, the fact that he was himself, you know? I think people who could live and walk in their truth and not give a rat's ass about what people think about you, I could fuck with you because you're standing 10 toes down on business, and I respect that. I started seeing that he was getting made fun of. He was getting bullied, and I don't like that. I don't like anybody getting bullied, right? It took me a long time to get comfortable at that school because I was bullied a lot. People were always calling me Bati Boy. I had my nipples pierced, and they would punch me on my nipple. They were aggressive. Like, Miami is not no joke. Y'all think Miami is just South Beach. No. Okay, real Miami is crazy as fuck. So I was like, oh my God, like, I know what that feeling is to get bullied. And he used to wear heels, skirts, dresses. Like, literally, he used to do it all. So he used to get made fun of bad, bitch. Real bad.
Real bad.
I ended up, like, you know, trying to coddle him and introduce him to, like, my friend group so he can make some friends. And which I did. But, you know, after a period of time, like, people just get comfortable with making their own friends and do their thing. They just need, like, that first initial, like, hello before they can go out there and, like, start making their own friends. So he ended up becoming cool with Devin's baby mother. And I was like, oh, hell no. Like, you know, and I didn't want to tell him what I had going on, my situation, right? Because I was still sneaking Devin in and out because I had to get comfortable before I could trust this boy. He started becoming friends with Devin's baby mother. And I was like, oh my God, like, I was like, damn, I cannot trust him. Like, fuck, like, what am I finna do? Like, I want to bring this boy into my life and I want him to know what's up because I want to be able to bring Devin over whenever I want without feeling like I'm walking on eggshells because he is another gay boy. He understands, but he became friends with this bitch and I'm like, damn, I can't tell him shit now. So one day after school, he used to be a part of like this, this little like nerdy geeky group. They used to play like fucking Pokemon cards and shit like that. So one day after class, like I knew he was going to be playing with his friends. So I was like, whatever, that's fine. So obviously Devin came back into the room with me. Me and Devin did our thing. He ended up coming home a little earlier than we anticipated. And Devin got caught being up in our room. Mind you, we had just finished, so he had his boxers on, and we just got the shower. He was wet, had his boxers on, whatever. He walked in, he saw him, because the way that the dorm was set up, like it was very open space. Like it was one big room with the middle being the bathroom, and then like two beds on each side, two bunk beds on each side. So we walked out of the bathroom, and he was just walking in, and he catches him, and he was just kind of like, oh, like. And I was like, oh my God, this is weird. Mind you, he didn't even leave. He just sat in there. He stayed in there. And Devin just like threw his clothes on and he got ready and he just like left. And he texted me like, yo, please don't say nothing to him. Like, just tell him that like my dorm didn't have no water, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, don't worry. Like, I got you. So I lied, and I was kind of feeling a little spicy, and I was like, you know what? I want him to know because I kind of want him to go back and tell his baby mother. Now, for all my younger gays, please don't do this. Please don't. Because outing somebody is just, it's not your place. And I don't think that that was something I should have done. I think I was very young and immature when I did that. Outing somebody, you shouldn't do it. It fucks with people's mental health. It could kill somebody. There's a lot that can go into it. So I just think that like you should let people tell their story whenever they want to tell it. You shouldn't be telling other people's stories unless they ask you to. And I overstepped my boundaries and I was being shady as fuck. Okay. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'm finna tell him because I want him to gossip and tell her. That didn't end up happening though. Okay. The way I played it out, that did not end up happening. Okay. So I ended up telling him like, hey, you know, like, please don't be quiet about like you saying that be quiet about telling people that like you saw him in the room, you know, without his clothes on. Like, I don't want nobody to know that, yada yada. And he was like, yeah, like, I got you, like, I won't tell nobody, yada yada. I'm like, okay, thank you, like, I appreciate it. But I knew since he was going to be mama, I'm like, maybe he's probably gonna go back and say something like, and I want him to do that because I want her to know, like, that's not your man, that's my man. He's been my man, okay? You just got knocked up by him, like, period. Like, bitch, I was being so shady. I did not care. I was like, no, I want her to know so bad. So I was like, so I told him all of that, and he was just on some shit like, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm not gonna tell nobody. Like, I got you. Like, you know, you have my back. I got your back. Like, it's nothing, period. So I'm like, okay, cool. So about 3 weeks after this all happens, I end up having to go to, it was Miami Swim Week. And I had a friend who went to the Art Institute and she let me stay in her condo with her and go to like all these like Miami Swim Week events with her. So I was really excited and I was like, yes, I'm leaving for the weekend. I was like, I'm going to go spend time in South Beach and go out to Swim Week shows and the fashion shows and yada, yada, yada. So I pack a bag and I leave. But right before I leave, Devin came over and me and Devin did our thing before I left. And the way that we have to fix the shower head, because he's so tall, we have to flip the shower head up so he doesn't hit his head, like on the shower head, if that makes sense. Like, we have to flip it up so that whatever. So we have to fix the shower head up so that he doesn't hit his head on the shower when we are intimate. So after he leaves, I pack my bag, I leave, whatever, I'm gone for the weekend. And I'm texting him throughout the weekend, and like the responses are very limited, which is not how our conversations usually go. Like, usually we talk all day long, like all day. Even when he's alone, he'll call me, like, we would talk a lot. So this one weekend in particular, like, it was dry. Like, it was so dry. And mind you, I look cute this weekend at fashion shows. I'm sending him like pictures of the fashion shows. I'm sending him pictures of me. Like, I was like, why is he not responding the way I want him to respond? So I'm texting my roommate too, and I'm asking him like, hey, did anybody come look for me? Because usually like my friends on campus will come through the room and just like knock on the door and look for me and stuff. I'm asking him and he's not responding back either. It's very, very like scarce. And I'm just like, this is weird. But I'm not thinking too much of it. I'm not thinking much of it at all. Like, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Maybe they're just busy. So the weekend's over and this is where it gets fucking juicy. This is where it gets real juicy. Let me sit up for this one. So I get home. And when I get home, okay, I go take a shower, and the first thing I realize is that the shower head is flipped back up the way that I usually have it when me and Devontae are hanging out. So I'm like, I'm like, that's weird. But like, mind you, I pay attention to detail, so I notice everything. Trust me, if I leave that pencil right there on that counter, I know that I left the pencil right there on that counter. I was very, very cool with our RN. With the RN is basically like the main person on the floor who was doing our roll call, make sure we were tucked away in our fucking dorms by curfew, like, you know, the head motherfucker in charge, okay? And he was like, yo, your friend and your roommate, he was like, they were out here really late Friday and Saturday night. He was like, they were out here really late, like watching TV and shit. And I was like, oh, really? He was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, well, you know, he's friends with his baby mother. I was like, so maybe that's why they were just like talking and stuff. And he was like, no, like it was weird. It was weird. And I was like, for real? He was like, it was weird, Isaiah. He was like, I'm telling you straight up, like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, nah. I'm like, what you mean you don't know? And he was like, no, like, I think that they probably, like, did something. He was like, because at one point, like, I came back and all of a sudden they were just both gone. He was like, I don't know where they was at. And the TV was still on. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. That's weird as fuck, actually, because I just came home and I actually found my shower head flipped up. I'm like, and you know, usually when me and him being intimate, I flip it up. I'm like, so that's actually really weird that you say that, because I thought I was tripping. And he was like, just looking at me like, you know, that look of like, you know, I know, we know the truth. Like, you got to get down to the bottom of it. So I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, ain't no way this is happening to me. Like, there's no way this is happening to me. I know that my roommate and my mans and I just hook up. Like, this is crazy. Not only that, but like, you are best friends with his baby mother. Like, there's no way that you did some foul shit like that to me and her. Like, I don't care about her, but the fact that you did it to me, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. So I'm like, okay, let me make sure I get the facts straight. Let me make sure, like, before I start, because I was wild back then. I didn't give a fuck. I was nuck if you buck. I did not give a fuck. I was very confrontational. Like, I did not play those games. And especially over a man that, like, just took my virginity. Like, I was not playing that. Like, I love that man. I would do anything for him. So I was like, there's no way he did some savage shit like that. So I ended up finding him, and he was on like another floor talking to like one of his little Pokemon friends. And I was like, you need to come down to the room with me and you need to have a conversation. And he was like, why? And you know that look in someone's face where you just like, they just know that they've been caught. Like, he was so scared. It was like a deer in headlights, baby. Like, he was nervous as hell. And I was like, come on, let's go have a talk. Like, we got to come down to the room and talk. So he comes down. And I pressed him, and I'm like, yo, so did you hook up this weekend? And he was like, no, who told you that? Who told you that? Da, da, da. And I'm like, I seen the footage of you guys leaving the TV room and walking down to our room. I said, and I just want to know, straight up. I was like, did you or did you not have sex with him? He was like, no, I didn't. I would never do that to you, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, no, I didn't hook up with him. He was like, we were just watching the game. And he was like, you know, giving me pointers on like how basketball works and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, bitch, ain't no way you even care about how basketball works. Like, you got all that makeup on, all them heels on. There ain't no, I just know you do not care about no basketball. Like, you was sitting up in here lying to me. Why do you think it's okay to lie to me? Because I am not no dummy. And I'm like, don't lie to me. I'm like, I seen the footage of you guys walking from the TV room to the room. I was like, so tell me, like, what was it? Mind you, I ain't seen no footage at all, y'all. I'm a pro gaslighter here, okay, baby? I'm a pro gaslighter. So I'm like, I seen the footage. Like, tell me the truth. What was going on? So he ends up telling me straight up. He was like, okay, so he asked me to perform fellatio on the couch, and I did. And from there, he told me that he wanted to have intercourse with me. And mind you, this boy is crying. This boy is crying when he's telling me this. It was so sad because he, like, you know, he could tell like he did me wrong. It was so messed up, and he could see how pissed I was, but he's blaming it on was like forcing him. And I honestly was on some shit where I was like, I'm sure he was, because the that I knew, ooh, I said his name. Oh my God. Oh my God. Y'all, I just started telling us oh my God. So all I want to do is, you know what? You owe me loyalty as a friend and as a roommate, but you know what? I'm going to deal with you later because you crying right now. You're not even ready for my mouth. So let me give it to the person who is ready for my mouth. So mind you, y'all, this is cleaning. This is literally cleaning day. Okay. So everybody is in the dorm. He was dorming with a bunch of ruthless ass Jamaicans. It was ghetto as fuck. And listen, y'all, I ended up developing a very good relationship with all the hetero men in my dorm. They loved me. And let me tell you something. If you tried me, they were going to have my back. And that was one thing for certain. So when he's confessed everything, all I wanted to do was get to Devin. I keep saying his name. All I wanted to do was get to Devin and get to the source and hear what he got to say, right? So I run up on him in the middle of him cleaning up his room. Mind you, everybody is in there cleaning. Everybody's in the hallways. I bust open that door and I was like, so are you going to tell me the truth? Tell me the truth of what happened? Because I know what happened between you and... I didn't even come up with a name for my roommate. I know what happened between you and Sam. I know the tea that happened between you and Sam. So are you going to tell me it was on some real, like, baby boy type shit?
All the rest of them like a fool. You better not bring me nothing back from one of them nasty beasts. I know that much.
Well, forget it, then. Don't believe me. I told you I ain't freaked that girl, and that's it.
Like, let me tell y'all something. Taraji P. Henson, Yvette jumped up in my body. And when I saw him, it was straight rah-rah, okay? I saw nothing but blood. And I wanted to kill him because I was so mad that he would do that to me. Like, I was so mad because I've never been played like that before. Like, and you know what that's like. I don't know if y'all ever had that, like, the person that took your virginity play you, but that hurts on a whole nother level because you're so vulnerable and you're so young. It just hurts. Like, it hurts so much. So when I tell y'all it was a scene from Baby Boy, it was a scene from Baby Boy. It was a whole lot of hooting and hollering, screaming. It was nuts. Okay, it was so bad that the RN had to come down the hallway and break us up because of how bad we was fighting. And I ended up screaming. My RN was like, what's going on? What's going on? Mind you, he already noticed. He know what's going on because he the one that spilled the juice. So I'm like, he ended up having sex with boom, boom, boom. And he was like, oh, hell no. So mind you, I told you, they all ride for me. So he was like, you pack your bags and you get out of here. Pack your bags and you get out of here. I'm moving you tonight. I'm moving you tonight. And I'm like, yeah, move him, move him. So everybody on the floor is calling him Bati Boy. Mind you, I'm not even thinking about the fact that I just outed him. Like, I'm not even thinking about that because all I saw was blood. And I was just so mad. Like, I did not even think about the fact that, like, I just completely outed this man in front of everybody. So everybody's jaw is dropped. Everybody's laughing, calling him a Bati Boy, calling him names. It was so bad. And I felt so bad for him, like, weeks after. But that night, I didn't give a fuck. I was, like, so glad that everybody knew. But then it ended up becoming, like, the talk of the campus. Like, everybody started, like, finding out about it and hearing about it. The baby mother found out about it. Me and her had to have a conversation, and it just became really, really bad. And it got really scary at one point because he ended up texting me saying, like, stuff about committing suicide and stuff like that. And I started feeling really bad. Like, that's what I'm saying. A couple weeks after, I started feeling really, really bad because I would never want that to be the reason for somebody's mental health to, like, go to shits. And, like, at that time, like, mental health was not a conversation at all. And I didn't realize how that was actually affecting him. And everybody was bullying him, talking about him. And mind you, he was a real hood. He was a hood boy. He could take it. But when the whole hood found out he was a fruit cut, baby, it was terrible. So I felt so bad for him. And I felt bad that I was a person that made him feel that way. It made him feel like he was a piece of shit. And not realizing, like, it was such kiddie bullshit. Like, it's never that serious. So, yeah, it became really, really bad. He got into a really bad depressed stage. He ended up moving off of campus. He stopped going to our school. Like, haven't heard from him ever since. Like, it just been, like, that bad, right? And I've reached out to him several times to, like, try to amend it because I found him on, like, WhatsApp, and then I ended up finding him on Facebook, and I reached out several times trying to, like, clear the air to have a conversation with him. But he literally was like, I want nothing to do with you. Like, you ruined my entire, like, life. Like, I'm done with you. Like, I don't even care to be your friend. Like, and that was very painful to receive those messages. So yeah, I don't out him. Do not out your man. If your man is DL, do not out him because it is not worth it. Okay, it is not worth it. I don't know how many times I want to say this, but it is not worth it. Do not do it. You don't know what you could do to someone's mental health. You could possibly end somebody's life, and that is very, very scary. And to know that it is all your fault off of a couple seconds of you being petty, it's not worth it. So don't do it. Matter of fact, just don't mess with DL men at all. Okay, as your gunko here, do not mess with any DL men at all. Okay, if they are not ready to come out, just don't even fuck with them. And it's the difference between, like, them not telling their parents and them just not telling nobody. Like, people who are, like, real, like, street dudes, like, just don't even get involved with it. Don't. I know the thrill of it is exciting and it seems like it could be so much fun because you just feel like you, like, accomplish something by, like, turning a straight boy gay. But, like, it's not worth it at the end of the day. So just run away and don't deal with it at all. Now, The second part to the story, though, was that I got in trouble because of all the drama that ended up happening. Because I was not done with him, my roommate. I wasn't done with him. I wanted to fight him, like real bad, like real bad. Like I tried to fight him several times, and they would not let me fight him. Like they had to move him on my dorm. It was crazy. So I ended up having to have a sit down with my principal because they were gonna kick me out. Some way, somehow, me and my principal ended up playing footsies during the conversation of me getting kicked out. So we're gonna just leave that right there. And if you made it this far in this video, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you want a part 2, and maybe I'm gonna give it to you, okay? I'm gonna give it to you exclusively for you. But you gotta go ahead, like, comment in this video, and I'm gonna give you all the tea on that. So that's it for now. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next story video. Bye, you guys.